So Visual Basic is really just a tool that you're going to use to put all these components together into an application. Before we get started, let's talk about the history and some of the features that you're going to be using in the Visual Basic language. Now, Visual Basic started out a long time ago as the brainchild of a man named Alan Cooper. It was then purchased by Microsoft and given a code name called Thunder. And this was back in about the 1990 era. Version 1.0 was finally released in May of 91, and then we've had several releases in between there. Until about version 3.0, VB really wasn't used extensively, but with the introduction of VB3 and with all of the data controls that were released with VB3, May of 93 became a significant year for Visual Basic. Since then, Microsoft has had 3 other releases, version 4, version 5, and the latest one is version 6.0, which was released in August of 1998. Now, what is VB and what are all the different things that you're going to be doing with it? Well, Visual Basic is actually a superset of the Visual Basic for Applications language. Now, this is significant because VBA is used in a lot of different products for Microsoft development, as well as a lot of other third-party software products. It is a GUI development environment, a graphical user interface development environment for developing Windows applications. What's neat is that you can develop and test applications using an interpretive run function, which just means you don't have to compile everything prior to testing your application. You can create exe files in 2 different modes. There's a P-code mode and a native code mode, which we'll talk about later. It's also an object-based development language that uses class modules and other reusable components, so you don't have to build everything from scratch over and over again. It's, as I mentioned before, a rapid application development tool which will help you get things up and going very quickly. Also very prevalent today is a concept called COM, which is Microsoft's new underlying structure for all of their development languages. COM stands for Component Object Model, which means you're going to be using components and objects together to model your application. Now, part of these COM components are ActiveX controls, active servers, either in a DLL or an exe format, ActiveX documents, are some of the COM components. VB has also moved into the Internet with Internet and Intranet development features. In VB6, you now have DHTML applications, the dynamic HTML language. You have what are called IIS applications, Internet Information Server applications. A web browser control allows you to actually create a web browser. FTP support is supported so that you can download files and upload files to an FTP server. And you have a WinSock control if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty of Internet development. There's an excellent online help facility that you'll be using quite a bit and really good debugging facilities. It's also very extensible. You're going to be able to extend your VB coding via calls to the Windows API with third parties that have developed a lot of products for integration with Visual Well, as you can see, Visual Basic is quite a rich language. There are so many features I can't even begin to list them all here. But as we go through the videotape series, you're going to be learning about these different features.